a new and different America. Not better, not more perfect, and definitely not great. Welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe. In less than a year, America has turned from being a flawed democracy to a corrupted democracy, turning into a fledgling fascist state. So much so that German Nazis are coming to visit Donald Trump for a refresher course in how to be properly fascistic. Historians talk about the time when there was a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden in the 1930s, and that was massive, and how massive of a show of fascism that was, and Nazism that was. What will historians call the 2024 elections 50 years from now, depending on whether there is a good faith pedagogical structure that adheres to truth and a society that still abides by the rule of law after Donald Trump's regime is finished with our country? Sitting through this burgeoning fascism in America feels very much like the rise and reign of the Nazi movement that peaked its head in America nearly 100 years ago and finally got what it wanted. That ideology didn't die in America. It wove itself along the seams of America's conservative ideologies, finding kinship among racist Americans and America's own ugly past with prejudice, lying in wait for the right moment, one that presented itself when Donald Trump came into the political picture. Then all the forces, some with considerable wealth to the extent of being the richest man on earth, threw their support behind Trump, not because they believed his policy initiatives, but because they knew he was a racist, corrupt man who was only loyal to himself and somebody who would do anything to accumulate wealth and power for himself. Fascism always needs a despot. And before Donald Trump, no American president thought of themselves as despots or even unitary executives. Donald Trump does. He sees the presidency as a means to enrich himself and those who suck up to him. He sees the power he wields as a tool to benefit himself, and he doesn't care if foreign enemies benefit from the failures of Donald's careless and untrained regime. A regime that undid cyber counterintelligence and has turned its ire towards its own citizens, creating a fascist surveillance state that goes after people living in America through biometric scans connected to government databases. A regime that compromises military readiness by deploying troops domestically, creating disparate War Department policies that discriminate against service members for being fat or having beards or being transgender, and manufacturing warlike conditions with countries like Venezuela and Nigeria without a showing of animosity from these countries or without congressional authorization, which president needs, without conducting any military operations. Then you have Donald Trump's sexual habits and appetites that make him a prime candidate for blackmail, something fascist veterans like Putin used and are using to their benefit. As more information comes out about Jeffrey Epstein, be on the lookout for information that connects Epstein to foreign intelligence agencies. If these agencies and fascist leaders have connections to Epstein, then they have compromise, which is compromising information on Donald Trump. And yes, more compromising than what we are seeing now, which would upend any other political person's career, but seems to not be really doing anything to jeopardize Donald. They can get Donald to do anything they want. That's how strong of compromise Donald Trump's adversaries, our adversaries, may have on him, no matter how much it harms the American people. The America we knew even a year ago is not the same America as the one we're living through now. The faster we accept it, the more likely it will be that we will salvage our republic. As I've said many times before, our republic and government that upholds it have been compromised, and that attack came and is coming from within. Donald Trump remains a clear and present danger to American democracy, our national security, and our constitutional rights. The longer he operates lawlessly, and the longer our institutions like SCOTUS and Congress let him, the more damage he will do to our 250-year-old experiment in self-governance. So remain aware, remain vigilant, record everything you see, help others in need, and be kind to one another. Thank you very much for listening.